Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about work on your insecurities to become more attractive. Okay, so the first point that I want to get into is when you become better at things that you are insecure about, you become more confident in that area. So this could be, dating advice or relationship. Like perhaps if you've got some insecurities about going out and dating people, or perhaps you're insecure in your own relationship, right? So what are those things? Like perhaps you're not good at going to parties, or perhaps, and doing cold approaches to people that you like, that you find attractive. Perhaps in relationships, perhaps you're not very good at communicating with your partner. So figure out what are the things that you are insecure about when it comes to dating, romance, and work on those things. Right, figure out what those things are, and more than likely, as I was describing that to you, some things probably flashed in your mind that you are actually insecure about when it comes to dating, or it could be with relationships, right? So what are those things for you? Get clear on what those things are for you. Grab a piece of paper, pause this video, and write out the things that you're insecure about when it comes to relationships and romance, right? So figure out what those things are and start working on those things. Go and read some articles about it, grab some books perhaps as well on those subjects, and then start applying it and applying what you learn. Because books are useless unless you actually use that knowledge within them, right? So reading a book is not enough. You have to actually take action on what you've read as well. So I go into this a lot deeper with different areas as well on a video that I made on my personal development channel called Work on Your Weaknesses, which I hope will give you a lot of inspiration to help you with this sort of thing. And I also go through a few a few stories on myself about what I'm working on when it comes to my weaknesses and things like that. So hopefully that will give you a bit more of an idea on how to do that sort of thing. So let's go into some things that you may need to work on, some things that you may feel insecure about. So for example, do you have social anxiety, right? Do you not like meeting new people? Like especially if you are in the dating world and you're trying to find someone to date and you're trying to become more attractive, perhaps you're trying to, find someone to be with. If you've got social anxiety and you're worried about talking to people and you feel really insecure when you're talking to people, then, I recommend picking up a book like How to Win Friends and Influence People, and then applying the knowledge within that. One of the ways that you can, practically start getting better at talking to people is by just simply talking to more people, just putting yourself in those situations where you're required to talk to people. So that means, you may go to like events, like perhaps there are some events in your local area, like things like maybe there's like a book festival, or maybe there's like a marathon happening and you join up for that, and so you can talk to people before and after the race, things like that. So look at what's going on in your area and see if there's any events that obviously you're interested in, so it's easier to strike up conversations with people. Perhaps you live near some museums, some tours, like maybe there's like a cool thing like a ghost tour that you would find really interesting, where you can talk to people before and after the tour, or maybe even during the tour. Something that you find interesting. It could be that you like comics and you go to like some sort of like comic book convention, and you talk to people there. You need to start talking to people more if you have issues with talking to people. And the better you become at talking to people, the better you'll get at it, obviously. Especially if you go up and speak to people that you think look quite attractive as well. It's not necessarily that your aim when you start doing that is to get their number. Because if you really are struggling with that sort of thing, then don't put the pressure on you, right? Don't put more pressure on you to try and get their number afterwards, to try and get their information or ask them out on a date. If you see someone that you find attractive, when you go to one of these events, because it's easier to do that at an event because you have a common interest if they're there at the same event as you. So then it's easier to go and talk to people in that kind of way. So go up and talk to people that you think look attractive, strike up a conversation. Obviously don't hang around. Like if the conversation falls flat, then just leave. Just say, it was nice speaking to you, bye. Don't hang around, because that can make you look a bit creepy. But just go up and strike up conversations with them. And if it does lead to a really good conversation and you've made a new friend, then perhaps you might get the confidence to then ask them out on a date, or to ask for their number or something like that, right? But it's all about going out there, communicating with people. Don't worry too much about getting people's numbers. Just get good at speaking to people if you suck at it, right? If you feel like you're insecure about it, okay? So another thing is perhaps you have poor willpower. Like perhaps you do things like when you get a crush on someone, you do what I used to do, which was like write them a long love letter to tell them how much you were into them. This was, for me, this wasn't something very good when it comes to my willpower, because I knew deep down that this person was going to reject me. I knew deep down that this probably wasn't the best route to do this, right? This wasn't the best way to actually do this. And I went round the weaker way and sent them a love letter, as opposed to, being truthful to myself from the very start and just asking them out straight away, as opposed to waiting around and hoping that they were going to feel the same way for me. And then I'll write them a love letter because I was too shy to say it to their face. So developing your willpower will be really beneficial to you. So I highly recommend to develop your willpower, just do something that sucks every single day. Something that you don't like to do, something that you don't want to do, but you know that you should be doing. So for example, that could be exercise, that could be washing the dishes, that could be tidying up your house or your room or your flat. It could be something like that. It could be, making yourself a healthy meal instead of ordering takeout or having a microwave meal that's unhealthy or something like that. Preparing a good meal for yourself so it's healthy. Work on things and do things that suck every day. So you don't have to do loads, but just at least for today as your action exercise, to just do one thing today that sucks, even if it's just for 20 minutes or maybe even 10 minutes. But that's how you can work on your willpower. Okay, so, don't understand the opposite sex. This is something for those people that are perhaps in relationships or people that perhaps are dating but still don't really understand the opposite sex. Then pick up a few books. I recommend read Models by Mark Manson, or 3% Man by Corey Wayne, or Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. If you read some books like that and start applying that knowledge, then you'll become better at understanding the opposite sex, okay? Even if you're a woman watching this, those books are really helpful to you as well, because it will help you understand the way men's brains works. But obviously, Men From Mars and Women Are From Venus is good when it comes to communication with men and women. So that's a book for both men and women. But Models and 3% Man are usually directed at the male audience, but they're still very useful for women as well. I think if you check out, Matthew Hussey has a book as well, which I think is directed towards women. And I'm sure with the popularity that Matthew Hussey has, he's I think he is actually the biggest dating coach on YouTube, directed towards women. So go and check out some of his stuff if you're a woman that happens to be watching this. So if you don't understand the opposite sex, if you feel like you just don't get why they do what they do, then please do fill in your knowledge gaps so you can understand them a bit better. And once you understand the opposite sex a bit better, or the same sex as the case may be for someone like me, then you become better in your relationships, you become better with intercourse, you become better in communicating with your spouse or the people that you go out on dates with. So please go and check out those things that I've suggested to help you get better at understanding the opposite sex, so you can just get better at it, basically. So you can have longer lasting relationships, better quality dates, things like that. So work on your insecurities, and if you do that, it will make you more attractive. It will, right? If you become better at communicating with the opposite sex, if you develop your willpower and become stronger in that way, if you become better at things that you're insecure about, you will then become less insecure and more confident, right? And I'm going to leave you with the quote that I've been using quite a lot recently by Dale Carnegie. Don't just sit and think about these things. The quote goes, "Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy," right? So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.